How's this angle? Does this work? Does show off everything I need it to show off? Looks good to me. Okay. Bruh. This is a cat. Isn't she cute? Please go away. Welcome everybody. This is Cowboy Culturism here, and today I'm hoping to bring you some of the first information on YouTube from a consumer standpoint of this firearm right here. What is this firearm? This is the Kalashnikov USA KP-104, modeled after the Kalashnikov Concern AK-104. If you're unfamiliar with this firearm, this is a firearm that has a 12.5-inch chrome-lined cold hammer forged barrel, chambered in 7.62 by 39. You could probably tell by the very banana-shaped magazines. And it's a short little AK pistol. I want to talk about it today as an out-of-the-box impressions type of video, not a review. I haven't fired any rounds through this, but man, as soon as I took this out of the box, I had something to say about it, and then something would happen, and then I'd have more to say about it, and then so I just put it all down onto a script. I put it into, let's see, 2,600 words. That's how much I had to say about it. So today we're going to be talking about the KP-104 from Kalashnikov USA. Now, if you're new to the channel, which there are likely many of you because there's many people going around looking for information about the KP-104 right now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to be the bearer of some bad news. And I hate doing that, but we'll get into all of that. So, officially, video starting. KP-104 out-of-the-box impressions. The KP-104 is an attempt to make a clone-correct Kalashnikov AK-104 in the United States by the American company Kalashnikov USA. They are not officially affiliated with the real Kalashnikov concern, but they want you to know that Kalashnikovs can be made in America with the same vigor as the Russians. I got this recently because I wanted to make this my dedicated AK platform. I recognize the advantages of having a short-barreled carbine type of 7.62 Kalashnikov, and I want to make that a reality for myself. I know Kalashnikov USA has a reputation to be a very quality firearms manufacturer, and this is affirmed in their pricing. I bought this firearm with my own money, which was $1,200, give or take, by the way. I think these were originally listed for $1,500. They brought the prices down after some backlash on Reddit, and then I used a discount code, but it was 1,200 bones of my own money. I bought this firearm with my own money because I hear very little complaints about the products that they manufacture, and they are touted to be premium firearms. But I want to make sure that people are aware about the KP-104 and how it could arrive out of the box. And in terms of quality, I hate to be the person who spoils everybody's lunch, since many people are hyped about their AK-103s, their KP-9s, their KP-104, but unfortunately there were issues that are very prevalent as I took the KP-104 out of the box for the first time. It's not all bad, of course. There's a lot more that shocked me about opening up the box and handling this firearm, and things people need to be aware of if you're considering buying a firearm from KUSA. I want to note that this firearm out-of-the-box impressions video will come off as firebrand and make it seem like I hate Kalashnikov USA. I really don't hate them, and I believe in their products as far as I can see them operate online and with the ones that my friends own. I believe in their products so much that I spent $1,200 of my own money in order to get this one. I believe in American-made AKs, and I want everyone who likes AKs to own one, but I believe in people owning quality firearms as well. And if after this review, if your impression of this is that it's not a quality firearm, that is your own conclusion that you came up with yourself. I am merely presenting this as I found it and giving my reaction to the things I see, but again, it will likely sound firebrand. Category 1, major issues. What are these major issues? I'm missing parts from my gun, and KUSA would imply you're getting other parts when you're really not. So, a little bit of context here. Some of this I wrote before I read some of the literature inside of the case. This is the KR-103 range magazine replacement card. And on the other side it says, so as I was saying, some of the criticisms that I have of KUSA in this portion of this script, I complain about the magazine not being correct and not being the one that they had advertised would be with the Firearm, but I think this is their way of saying sorry. I'll try not to cover that as much, but it is kind of prevalent. So, major issues. When I pulled the Firearm out of the box, there was a muzzle retaining pin holding on this 104 booster. Unfortunately, somewhere between the FFL and me getting home and taking it out of the box and playing with it, the muzzle retaining pin is no longer affixed to the gun. Isn't that neat? Right there, where there's no pin. There's nothing keeping this on at all. Isn't that neat? Just kind of spins free. Fresh out of the box. Pin explodes or something, and it's nowhere to be found. I have a feeling I shouldn't have to worry about that personally. There's a little area where a pin is supposed to be, and it interfaces with the booster, but there's not. There's no pin, and so this just kind of spins free. Isn't that cool? Here's your KUSA logo. All I did when I got home was take it out of the box. I laid it in the grass so I could take a picture of it next to my AK-103 from PSA. Racked it a few times, dry fired it a few times. The pin that retains the booster is gone. I have not fired a single round through this weapon. Only after I noticed that the pin was gone did I take off this booster. I did not take off the booster and it shot off. It shot off prior, which is very strange to me. I have fired exactly 0 rounds out of this Firearm and this happens. This is an issue for obvious reasons, since I would like whatever muzzle device I end up putting on this pistol to stay on the pistol. This is not something I would expect out of a company that slogan is Russian Heritage, American Innovation. The Russians had this figured out in the 60s, and if this is an American innovation, I'm declaring myself a Canadian. I do not know what made this happen. I'm not a qualified gunsmith, and I'm only an AK enthusiast. But I do think that this is subpar overall for a firearm that I had literally just purchased and literally just brought home and literally have fired 0 rounds through. Next, I want to talk about the inconsistencies between Kalashnikov USA's marketing and the things that actually end up at your front door. The Firearm came with both a different type of safety than what was listed on the website and a different magazine than what was listed on the website. I had expected to receive a standard AK safety and a polymer AK-103 type of magazine. This is what their marketing pictures imply you're getting. Instead, what I got was a standard safety with a bolt hold open cut, which if you're not familiar looks like this. There's a hole in the safety. The idea being you go like this, goes back, and then you can lock your bolt back with that little cutout on the safety. Reasons you'd want to do this, looks cool. If you're shooting competition and you need to lock your bolt back to see inside your chamber, that's it. It does this though. You could reload it, do this, and then you could drop it, but that's about all you can really do with those. What I got was a standard safety with a bolt hold open cut, which they do not list on the website for sale or in the marketing of the 104. And a standard metal magazine with the oh so awesome spine at the back of it. They send you this. It's a Korean magazine. And again, there's some literature here that explains that the polymer 103 mags were not available. So I hope to take full advantage of this and be able to get that polymer magazine, since I kind of want an authentic AK-104 look. Until then, I'm rocking with this made in Korea metal mag with that awesome spine at the back. I was excited to get the 103 magazine like what was listed in the pictures, but I did not receive one. I do not know if this is necessarily an issue for some people, but I know that one of the appeals of Kalashnikov USA is that they make clone correct firearms. If you look around online for original AK-104s from Kalashnikov Concern, you will notice that there are polymer magazines, and you will notice that there are standard type AK safeties. Contrast this to the pictures on the KP-104's page, and you will not see any difference between these two things, implying that the KP-104 is actually clone correct. But Kalashnikov USA decides not to tell you it's making these changes to your firearm until you open up the box. They're also breaking their own rules by adding this type of safety. That's because they're trying to do clone correct firearms, and instead they're doing bolt hold open cuts on their 104s for some reason. I thought we were doing clone correct. What happened to clone correct? Perhaps this is an American innovation, where the innovation is merely false advertising online. Is this a big deal for me personally? Well, for somebody out there, they will have wished that they had gotten an actual clone correct firearm as opposed to this one. Now that person will have to go buy a standard type AK safety from somewhere, costing that particular end user more money. Essentially, what I go on to say is that they probably shouldn't list it with a polymer magazine if they're not going to send one with a polymer magazine. And when it comes down to the safety, if you're deciding to stray from the original Kalashnikov design, which is fine by the way, a lot of people upgrade their safeties on AKs, firstly, why wouldn't you tell the consumer via your marketing? And second, why wouldn't you do like what PSA does and include an enhanced safety lever? This firearm, they decide to stray from the original design in order to give you a better safety. The safety is better because it has a lever here which you can actuate with one finger, as opposed to running your hand up here like you have to do on a 104 like this, and run your whole hand down and then get your firing grip back. Why wouldn't they just do that? Why wouldn't they just copy the homework of PSA? Just, if you're gonna stray from the original design, one of those, I mean, not one of these. This is just silly to me. That way, you are able to justify straying from the design, since it's actually more useful than one of these bolt hold open types or the standard safeties. That's what I intend to do. What I mean by that is upgrade the safety and upgrade it to a lever type of safety, but it's costing me, an end user, more money. Again, if they sell these things on their website, why not include them with the firearm if you're straying from the original 104 design? And you're really gonna let Palmetto State Armory outdo you? So again, is this an issue for me? They should have done one of the following things. Either, one, they should have sent the safety in the magazine that they are implying would come with the gun when you refer to their marketing, but they do not include them in the package of this firearm. Or two, they should have included an actual enhanced safety like PSA does, as opposed to this scuzzy bolt hold open standard safety if you're going to stray from the original 104 design. PSA is outdoing them in this department, but you as a consumer should at least expect to get what is in the pictures on the website. With this product, you do not. And it's only when it's in your hands do you realize these things. Category 2, questions about quality control. Are these less major issues? The first thing I noticed about this firearm when I took it out of the box was the treatment on the outside of the gun felt off. What I mean by this is that the paint on the outside felt gritty. What's weird is that the paint was only gritty on the left-hand side of the receiver, the whole dust cover, and the front trunnion. So the left-hand side of the receiver, the whole dust cover, and whole front trunnion. Near the barrel, the muzzle device, the right side of the receiver, everything else felt like it was supposed to for the most part. What I mean by that is it felt smooth like my AK-103 on all these surfaces. It felt smooth, it didn't feel gritty. It felt like it was a better paint job on the 103. So I told my friend about this issue online, and he recommended that I take some type of gun oil and rub it into the areas affected. He theorized that it would make it so that the oil fills up the grittiness in these areas, which were either poorly heat treated or poorly painted, and then smoothed out the feel, essentially. Well, I did that, and it seems to have made the gun feel much better. But I think this begs the question, why would the gun show up like this in the first place? Unfortunately, I was only able to capture in pictures what the grittiness looked like, and I started to apply the oil before I captured it on video. But thankfully, the problem still resides in the safety. And I can compare directly the safety between my AK-103 and my KUSA KP-104. And hopefully you can see the difference. So on this side, we have the Palmetto State Armory AK-103 Enhanced Safety. You can tell it's enhanced because the way it is.
This is an Aspen. You can tell that it's an Aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
It is, no, because of this lever on this side. On this side, we have the KP-104 lever. You can tell it's the KP-104 lever because it's got the bolt hold open feature. And on this side of it, you can see there's a few things going on. See this little bit of griminess right here? That is gritty. And that is what the whole firearm felt like. Now, I don't know what it is, and I can't really get it off with just my finger. I have to try to apply some type of oil to this and then rub it extremely thoroughly, and then it comes off. I don't know what that implies the problem actually is, but if we compare the inside of that to the inside of the AK-103 safety, you will notice that it's just a clean, smooth paint job all around. It might have some carbon on it, but it doesn't have this grittiness to it. I wonder if that's either a failure of the paint job or if it's a failure of the heat treatment or both, but either way, it shouldn't be on this brand new firearm from Kalashnikov USA. You can also see it, maybe you can see it near the knob on the lever here. So I'll point it out. It's right here. I don't know what that stuff is. I have no clue. It feels very gritty as you run your finger across it. It feels very dry. And then on the inside, it's just brutal. There's a few spots on the rest of this firearm that I still feel it, right in the grooves on the dust cover. I've tried very hard to get it all out, but whatever it is, it doesn't want to leave. It's like it was manufactured this way or something. And I don't know what's causing that, and I don't know where it came from. But hopefully, Kalashnikov USA, if they see this video, they can reach out to me and try to correct this. And if anybody else is having this issue, I hope they reach out to you or you reach out to them and see if you can get this problem fixed. I need to reiterate that I'm not a gunsmith and I'm only an AK enthusiast, so I can't point definitively to this being a heat treatment issue, but the paint felt weird. So do I think this issue is resolved because of the gun oil that I've been rubbing into all these different creases on here? Well, maybe. But it bothers me that the gun showed up like this, and if the exterior of the firearm has this poor heat treatment / poor paint job type of deal, if there's a poor heat treatment issue on the interior of the firearm, this thing could be downright dangerous. And to quote my other video I've posted on this channel, it's not confidence inspiring. Maybe they just baked on the black exterior for too long, but again, I don't think the firearm should have shown up like this. Another QC thing that might come into question is that the trigger attempts to hang up on itself when you dry fire the gun. Essentially, the trigger does not reset every time. I found this issue when I was attempting to see how the KUSA trigger feels in comparison to a stock AK trigger. Whatever the trigger is that they've created here is actually very nice at the pull level, about a 3-ish pound-ish pull. You'll notice that visually it's a slightly different look as compared to a standard AK trigger. It's very thin, very long. Doesn't have that trademark curve to it. But I need to show you the video of me evaluating it so you understand the trigger reset problem that I'm having. A little trigger eval here. So you've got this, you've got a couple millimeters of play, you hit the wall. Thank God for the wall. Then from there, it drops. It's probably about a 2 or a 3 pound drop, but then the trigger freezes, unfortunately. So I have to push it back forward, see if we can get a good reset here. Again, 2 millimeters, wall, pull trigger, very light trigger, 3-ish pounds, and it freezes. So there isn't a trigger slap. When it does work, there is not a trigger slap, but as of now, I cannot get it to reset normally. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a push forward, but it's not a slap. It's not a slap like you get on regular AKs. It won't come forward. It will not come forward now. There we go. Yeah, there's no slap. There's no slap. It's just not wanting to come forward every time. And it won't come forward again. So that's really frustrating to me. That's a brand new, this is brand new. This has not been fired. This is out of the box, and it's doing that. But it's really not a bad trigger going back. It's a bad trigger going forward. It does not want to go forward. So There is a definite wall behind around 3 millimeters of play, which was desperately needed in an AK platform. A lot of AK triggers just have you guessing as to where in the pull the hammer will actually drop, but releasing and resetting the trigger is the issue, as I've demonstrated. When it actually does reset, it seems like KUSA has tamed the trigger slap that AK's triggers are famous for. But if the trigger doesn't reset, you seriously don't have to worry about AK's trigger slap at all, do you? Now, it doesn't happen every time, but I still have never had this issue on the 2 PSA AKs that I've owned in my life. And again, it isn't confidence inspiring. I can't say for sure if this is an issue that would happen if I'm putting rounds down range, or maybe it just needs to be broken in. But I would figure that they could have a trigger in a pistol which resets every time. I'm making this video, though, to give you an idea of what you could expect out of the box from Kalashnikov USA. Let me propose a hypothetical quickly. Hypothetically, I'm hoping for this AK pistol to be the one that I reach for my vehicle in if an emergency was to happen. What if I need to reach for it and I can't get that second round off because the trigger won't reset? This is not okay for a pistol to do this, especially not at the prices that they're charging. Another issue is that the trigger pins appear to want to move way more than I've seen in other AKs that I've owned, and I have another video demonstrating this. I can move these trigger pins with my thumb. So I'm going to push on this side right here, and I'm going to see if I can catch this on video. Can you see that? Sorry, I've got this thing rested against my junk. Isn't that neat? I can move it, I can feel it moving, but it's not really catching it. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? But this one, you can see moving a lot. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? Wow. Watch this. You can see it from this side too, I bet. So I push in. Isn't that freaking cool? Damn! Damn, boy. Damn, son! Went in on that one, huh? Shout out, big shout out. Big shout out. Again, I'm just an AK enthusiast here, and I've only owned 3 AKs in my life. However, there are issues that I've not had on my other AKs that I do have on this one. So why is it an issue? Is it really an issue? Maybe not. I'm just an enthusiast. But I don't think that it should happen if other cheaper manufacturers can figure this out. And at the prices that KUSA is charging, I don't think I should see this out of the box. This AK came with some serious gouges into the firearm itself. It's been a recurring issue I've noticed with AKs in particular that I've ordered online, and I think it deserves some recognition here as well. There is a deep scratch underneath the charging handle. Why? I don't know. Potentially shipping again like last time, which was my PSA AK-103. If you've not seen that video, I was talking about how shipping likely damaged that firearm in that video. But the top of the dust cover appears to have markings on it as well. These markings look to me like they could potentially be bubbles from a botched paint job or a heat treatment. I'm just hypothesizing here, but again, I am just an enthusiast. But it perturbs me that all the AKs that are shipped to me have had this issue in one respect or another. There's a pretty good scratch right there underneath the charging handle. That's one of the scratches I was talking about. There's a few dings in the rear of this receiver. You'll notice some very firmly pressed rivets here and here. It might be easier just if I take the dust cover off to show you. So, some of these scratches are going to be right at the top of the dust cover. You'll see some right there in the dead center, and I believe you'll see some on this edge right here. And again, I got this gun yesterday. Not enough time for me to personally do some damage to it like this, I don't think. I pulled it out of the box at the FFL, and there was already some on it. You'll notice some right in here, scratches there, scratches here. I'm sure I'm missing some, but there's some markings in the dead center there, which I believe might be bubbles from a botched paint job. I have no credibility as to make that determination, but it kind of looks like it, maybe, potentially. So, That's the dust cover on this firearm. A pretty good scratch right here underneath the charging handle. They always put a chamber flag in their firearms, so maybe the chamber flag got brushed up against the side of the receiver. Either way, that one ain't buffing out, so that sucks. And since we're talking about quality control again, should I bring up that the booster's retaining pin is gone? How does that happen to a booster that's affixed to the gun? I don't know. For the record, I did not order a blemished version of this firearm. At the date of this video, which is October 11th of 2020, KUSA is not even offering blemished versions of this firearm on their website yet. It's that new of a product. Am I going to be able to cash in any amount of the 2-year warranty to get any of this fixed? How many like this are being shipped out? Is KUSA going to take care of their customers if they have these types of issues? That is to be determined. So some positives. The firearm is not all bad. Even with as much as I've said about it so far, let me list off the positives. The firearm feels firm. There's not really any rattle, no loose parts. All the stuff on here isn't moving. So that's good. The bolt, the recoil spring, they work together well. It feels like a very smooth action. I haven't lubricated this or anything like that, but it doesn't feel like there's any hang-ups in it really. It feels very smooth. I'm unable to put the bolt on the back of the hammer face to make it stay there like I have been able to on my other AKs, but this one, it does not want to do that. They've rounded up the bolt face pretty nice, and I'm unable to do the little accidental bolt hold open thing that you see happen on some AKs. It's not really a big deal. It's not going to get in the way of function, but it does happen and annoys some people. It's not here to annoy you, so that's good. The gun itself doesn't feel poorly made, but man, did it look it when I first got it out of the box. Another good thing, they included a cleaning rod, alhamdulillah, and yeah, all AKs deserve cleaning rods, and that should be a staple on every single AK out there. It needs a cleaning rod. It needs a cleaning rod. So thank you, Kalashnikov USA. For including that. But let me remind you of the negatives in rapid succession in case you weren't keeping track. The muzzle device retaining pin disappeared into the ether with no letter. They changed the safety without telling you, and it's not even a useful one like the high-speed, low-drag ones that PSA includes with all their AKs, but they did do a bolt hold open one. Thanks. Online advertising would imply you're getting a clone correct AK-104. This kind of harkens back to the safety I just described. If you're not going to do a clone correct one, then why would you put that in your marketing? Why would you ship a metal mag with this if I know for a fact you're selling them on your website? So I have to go through the step of asking you to send me one? You're selling them on your website, and you've got better safeties than this on your website. Why wouldn't you just include one of these safeties that we're describing? You'd be just like the rest of these companies out here, which are making cheaper AKs than you, and they have better safeties. They can run those guns better, more effectively. There's a 50-50 chance if the trigger resets. That stinks. And the paint job was botched. Either the paint job or the heat treatment or something made this gun gritty when it got out of the box, and I had to fix it myself. I think I might have fixed it, but who knows, if the oil goes away, it might come back and it might just permanently be gritty. Why did it come like that again? And there's scratches all over the gun that just aren't buffing out. I guess it's fair to say that I'm being nitpicky. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I want to let people know that you could get your own KP-104 and have all these things happen to it, because that's what my experience has been so far with Kalashnikov USA. It sucks that it's like that. I wish it wasn't, but I want this to be like the perfect little gun I could throw a brace on and a nice trigger on, a nice light, and all these different things on, and I wanted to be able to run it as just a shorty little carbine chambered in 7.62, loud, mean, maneuverable. But it's not that I can't do that with this, but with this, all these other issues came with it, and that stinks. I'm hoping that once I take this out to the range, after I get this fixed by Kalashnikov USA, because that needs to happen, that I'm able to run this just as effectively. If Kalashnikov USA wants to fix the trigger pins, the trigger, or the paint job, that, and what else? Oh, throw me a good safety. I would be so grateful, because at this moment it doesn't feel like this AK is as quality as something like this PSA that I've owned. This has been a nice gun. It feels nice. It was nice out of the box, and there's been a few issues with it, but none like the trigger not wanting to do its thing. That stinks. So I hope that this video has been helpful and informative to you. But it's a damn shame that this AK did show up in the condition that it did. It feels to me as if this might just be a issue because there's so much demand for these, maybe. But I wanted to be able to take this out of the box, throw all the attachments on it that I'm talking about, and just go to town. But until this is taken care of, until the paint job is confirmed to me that it's not a heat treatment issue and this thing isn't going to explode in my face or something, until the trigger isn't going to 50-50, work, not work, I can't say with 100% certainty that this is going to be the AK-104 of my dreams. And that's a shame, because I was really expecting it to be a better quality than this. With as much as people hype Kalashnikov USA up, I expected their firearm to be a little bit more premium. And it's not terrible, but it's certainly dashed my expectations. And that's unfortunate, because it seems like a good company. It seems like good guys. They want to make AKs for all Americans. Go them. But I just wish that this AK didn't show up in the condition that it did. I'm sure it shoots. I'm sure it shoots, for the record. I'm sure it won't explode in my face. I'm sure it won't be, a terrible firearm for other people to own. And I'm sure that this is just maybe a lemon. But if other people get paint jobs like this, if other people get their booster thing flying off, if other people get scratches and dents in their AK before they've even shot it, and if other people's triggers just don't do what they're supposed to do, that reflects more on the company as opposed to it just being an off day for this one gun, or a lemon for this one gun. And we'll see as more people start to get there, as the reports that come out. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this is just the lemon, but if it's not, we will see. Kalashnikov USA will feel it because people won't buy their product. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it was so lengthy, but it was absolutely necessary that I put this on video, because there's a lot here that I needed to say. There's a lot here that I needed to get out, and I hope you stuck through to the end. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Till then, this has been Cowboy Culturism. Thank you for watching.